Emily from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for May 2023. So on May 16th, we are going to have a major shift in energies because Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, blessings, moving out of the fiery energy of Aries and moving into the fixed earth sign of Taurus. So we have a lot to unpack here. First, let's just talk about the fact that, yes, with Jupiter in Aries energy, that was the very first time in 12 years that we began a brand new Jupiter cycle. Jupiter takes 12 years to go through all the zodiac signs. And so anytime that a planet is entering into Aries energy, that is a new spark. That is a new level of awareness. That is a new creation, a new initiation. Now, what was Jupiter in Aries all about? Well, Jupiter in Aries gave us an opportunity to kind of re-identify who it is that we are, rebrand ourselves, if we will. We had the opportunity to kind of put ourselves out there to create new paths, new pursuits of happiness, where we got to build something new. However, that fire energy came with a lack of direction. It came with energy management problems, seeing as we tend to burn ourselves out long before we ever see the goalpost in Aries energy. It definitely put us in a situation where we had a hard time identifying what we're passionate about, what we're excited about, what it is that we actually wanted to pursue. And because of all the other aspects that have kind of taken place while Jupiter was in Aries, we really didn't get, I'm going to say, the full opportunity to see what it is that we could have actually brought to life. Now, granted, the bringing to life part, the manifesting part happens in Taurus energy. So we will likely see a lot of rewards, a lot of productivity, a lot of progress stemming from some of the ideas, some of the passion, some of the fire, some of the flames that got ignited while Jupiter was in Aries energy. The one thing that we're leaving behind that I think will be good for all of us is that pressure, that urgency, that I'm going to say crisis energy for us to make a move, for us to change everything, for us to grow, for us to heal, for us to just push ourselves forward. Now, granted, we needed that particular energy at that particular time with those particular aspects, because again, we've never gotten this far in the human experiment. We've never experienced this particular combination of energies that are currently popping off. But now with Jupiter entering into Taurus, first of all, this is the first time that we've had Jupiter enter into Taurus energy in 12 years. We have to go back to 2011 to 2012 when Jupiter was in Taurus energy last. And we have to understand that the Taurus energy is the physical body, is the physical realm, is the five senses. Taurus energy rules over worth and value, starting with the worth and the value that we find within ourselves. This is where self-esteem, self-confidence is, I'm going to say, recognized, worked on, stabilized, and improved. The Taurus energy rules over our physical realms, where routines, relationships, money matters, resources, long-term plans are concerned. And of course, because there's been so much change, there's been so much growth, we're definitely having the opportunity to kind of focus on what needs to be built. And we are going to be making some very low and slow and steady progress moving forward. Now, this Taurus energy wants us to focus on building. What are we building? We're building foundations that are going to provide us with stability, with safety, with security, with comfort. And we are only pouring into things that are going to be around for the long term. In Aries energy, we were kind of looking for instant gratification. In Taurus energy, slow and steady is always going to win the race. With a fixed earth sign, we tend to kind of put on the blinders. We tend to kind of very much focus on one thing at a time. And although we've been struggling to figure out the path, the direction, and moving forward, we are definitely going to gain a lot more clarity, first of all, coming out of the retrograde season that Mercury was just in. Secondly, coming out of eclipse season, that is going to clear the air and make things a lot more, I'm going to say, tangible in what it is that we have to pour our time, energy, and efforts into. But here's the thing, Earth energy requires us to do, to take action, to actually move our physical bodies, to roll up our sleeves, to get our hands dirty, so to speak. And this is something that we are kind of reframing in our mind because short-term sacrifice is worth it for long-term gains, long-term goals. So we're really not going to be impulsive at all. Again, very dramatic change from that Aries energy. We aren't, I'm going to say, naive enough to fall for get rich quick schemes or, do this now and you can have a different world by the end of the week type of thing. As tempting as that may be, we are understanding right now that anything worthy of our time, energy, and effort, it needs to be done correctly. We have to do it one step at a time. And so there's not a whole lot of risk taking with Jupiter in Taurus energy. We want to know for sure. We need a focus. We need a direction. We have to have a clear intent, a clear vision, a clear dream, a clear goal. And we have to have an actual plan. We're not just going willy-nilly by the seat of our pants. Those times are over. We are in a time of building and creating in this Taurus energy, and we want to see rewards. We want to see the, I'm going to say, return on investment for our time, for our energy, for our efforts. So we have to keep in mind that Jupiter is a very beneficial planet. He brings us rewards for the tough love life lessons that we've gone through. He brings us a bigger, broader perspective, kind of looking back, understanding why certain things had to transpire in order for us to actually get here. He provides us with a new level of enlightenment, of awareness, of learning, because we get to kind of move out of the finer details that Taurus wants us to focus on, and then we get to see the greater, grander vision, the greater, grander picture. We understand, the scope, the direction, the path, the bridge that needs to be built in order to get there. Then we zoom back in on what it is that we actually have control over, what we can take action on in the here and now, and we get to work. We get building. Now, we are going to need a lot of freaking patience. And I know patience isn't something that many of us were born with. And I don't know about y'all, but I haven't been able to find it on the World Wide Web for purchase. So we're really going to have to kind of, settle in and understand that patience is absolutely the key to success, especially in this Taurus energy. Now, many of us are going to see some huge upgrades in our lives, especially in our physical realm where materialistic possessions are concerned. We are going to really see the resources that we have available to us that we might not have been aware of. And when it comes to money, we are definitely restructuring our whole financial budget, our whole financial goal. And again, let me throw this at you. We are starting to see the payoff of the inner healing work that we've done, the work within ourselves, by receiving the monetary upgrades, the level ups that we will be kind of opening our arms up to. Why is that? Well, if you've listened to me for any amount of time, you would know that when you do the self-love, self-worth within yourself, the way that you can tell whether or not you're on the right path, whether you're doing the work, whether you are upgrading, is that the universe blesses you with the currency of this realm, which is money, which is, possessions, which is finance. So in the spiritual realm, of course, the currency is energy. And when we, kind of create a brand new energy of self-love, self-worth within us, we get a return on investment in our physical realms by seeing an increase to our finances, to our resources. So we're going to be kind of, I'm going to say, building on this new self-image, this new identity that we kind of sparked while Jupiter was in Aries energy. We're going to be building on that. We're going to be building on our self-worth, on our self-confidence, on our self-esteem. And because of that, we will be kind of getting some payouts in a monetary sense as we kind of work up that particular ladder. So because Taurus energy rules over the physical body and the five senses, of course, we're really craving to feel good, to feel passion, to feel pleasure, to feel comfort. And we want those creature comforts, and we desire to feel good, to look good, to feel good. But a lot of this is getting back to the basics. Taurus energy wants to kind of strip us down to realize what it is that we need in our lives to feel good, to feel happy, to feel safe, to feel secure. And many times that is the simple life versus, this modern day over excess of things and possessions. We want to kind of understand that, yes, Taurus energy does rule over our profits, our possessions as we accumulate them through our experiences, but we don't want to overindulge in that. We don't want to just focus on monetary success, on physical realm success either, which could be a downside. Keep in mind that Jupiter tends to magnify, turn the volume up on whatever it is that we're currently in. And so that could put us in a situation where maybe we're eating too much of the good foods, we're taking a little bit too much time and energy to pour into ourselves, where we're, quote unquote, taking self-help days, but technically we're just lazy. There is a fine line between all of those things. And we do not want to kind of err on the negative side of this particular transit, which essentially is overindulgence. So again, we're kind of slowing the roll. We're definitely going to feel that time shift, feel that, I'm going to say, urgency from the Aries energy dissipate. And we have to become a little bit more focused on the here and now. Again, doing whatever it is that we can to provide ourselves with safety, security, stability, happiness, joy, and pleasure in the here and now. And again, thinking long term, sometimes it will be that we have to settle for minimal comfort, minimal happiness in the here and now, but that is a sacrifice that we're willing to make in the here and now to have all of those things on a much greater, grander scale in our long-term plans. We have to understand that instead of going balls to the walls and just creating this absolutely beautiful scene of life for ourselves, we have to at least start with making sure that our basic needs are being met. And that's kind of the vibe here, is that simplicity actually fulfills us more in a way than having all of these possessions, all of these successes actually do. And so we are going to kind of reframe what that means to us, what success means, what stability means, what happiness means, what joy means. And although we all want to be in a situation where we don't have to worry about money, where we don't have to worry about depending on other people, to survive, we are going to see ourselves, what it is that we've built, what it is that we're capable of building, in a totally different perspective. And again, Jupiter allows us to have that bigger, broader picture and perspective and understanding than what it is that we've been previously able to see. This is going to be a very lucky, very rewarding transit for the next year. And that is super good. We could all use a little bit of that. However, I do think that it is going to be a very long time coming. You might kind of need to focus on celebrating the smaller successes on a day-to-day, because I don't know that we are going to understand the bulk, the weight of the success that we will be creating while Jupiter moves through Taurus energy until next year, when Jupiter's kind of finished with this particular transit. One thing that we're going to have to be tested in is moderation. And again, that Aries energy had a sense of crisis, a sense of urgency, a sense of impulse. We wanted everything yesterday. And although we may continue to want everything yesterday, this Taurus energy just slows us down. We're stopping to smell the roses. We're focusing in on the beautiful little things in the run of our day. We want to kind of go at that slow, steady pace because we've learned in the past that flying by the seat of our pants, acting on impulse, gets us absolutely nowheres. It actually backtracks us in a lot of sense. So we just kind of want to understand that we have to have a focus. Our enthusiasm is probably not going to be high. We're going to have to keep it at a realistic, slow and steady pace. But as long as we have a plan, as long as we have an intent, as long as we have a direction and a path, that is going to kind of build with every success point that we meet. And of course, like I said, there's always those negative manifestations of this energy, which again can be going so low and slow that you're in a state of paralysis and nothing gets done. You could be so overzealous that maybe you burn yourself out, become bored before you ever actually accomplish anything. Overindulgent with creature comforts, pleasures, food especially. And for my Taurus people out there, or depending on where Jupiter is transiting through your chart, this could actually pack on some physical weight as well. So we definitely want to be aware of that. And we're just kind of, a little bit more relaxed, I would say, a little bit more patient. We understand that, anything good is something worth waiting for, and we aren't afraid to get our hands dirty in order to build a life, a reality, a realm that not only looks good, but feels good as well. So this is definitely going to test us in different ways, especially where patience is concerned, I would say for the majority of us. But I feel like this is definitely the grounding energy that we need, especially as we go through this transiting time. And that's kind of what we're in right now, is this transiting time, trying to get us to the end of 2024 into 2025. And of course, 2025 kind of kicks off the new earth, and that will take us into like 2027 essentially. So this Jupiter transit in Taurus is basically setting the stage, really kind of building the foundation for what it is that we are going to be using to build this new reality, this new realm upon for the years to come.